Hello heroes, Joe Smith here. You probably can't see me too well, but there's nothing much to see. Joe Smith is ugly as fuck. Just staying out here at night in the dark. Hey. Can you see me now? Hey, just stay out here sipping on some adult Kool-Aid, guess you can call it. Just saw an article and saw a couple YouTube videos earlier about it. The article was entitled, I Cannot Live on $709 a Month. Like, what, $709 a month? Joe Smith here is offering employees twice that a fucking week. They're talking about Social Security. People that are in their 60s on Social Security are saying that they cannot live on $709 a month. Well, you're not supposed to live on $709 a month. Today, you're supposed to live on $709 a month 40 or 45 years ago when you first started paying into Social Security. Inflation wasn't supposed to happen. You see, minimum wage wasn't supposed to get increased. Inflation wasn't supposed to happen over the years. So, you actually could have lived on $709 a month 40 years ago. In fact, 40 years ago, let's see, maybe 50 years ago, $709 would buy you a 1970 Chevelle Super Sport 454 for about $709. So 40 years ago, it would have at least a month and a half worth would have bought you a new car. And then the rest of year's income would have paid your mortgage and insurance and on your home and car and health, Medicare or Medicaid or whatever, plus bought all your groceries and plus paid all your utilities. So why, no, you're not supposed to live on $709 a month today on retirement, Social Security retirement. In fact, you're not even supposed to live off Social Security retirement at all. That's just supposed to be a supplemental deal, supplemental deal. You're not supposed to live off $709 a month Social Security. You're supposed to have like a few $1 million saved up in between, stocks, bonds, investments, IRAs, Roths, bank savings accounts, the sale of your farm or estate or something or other. But that's the problem. That's the problem. People are just, like today, like nowadays, right? The other day, Joe Smith offered a 15-year-old $1,000 a week to fix lawnmowers and bicycles while he's out of school for summer. I don't know about that. Yeah, it kind of sounds nice, but maybe I'd rather just sit home and play Call of Duty and pretend I'm a pretend I'm in the military and pretend I'm actually a badass, even though I'm a fucking pussy faggot. Never heard from him since. Never called back to express interest. And that's the problem. Well, everyone's wanting, well, we need $15 an hour minimum wage. It's like, no, you just need to start working a little bit sooner. And if you're like 30 years old and saying that you need $15 an hour minimum wage, then you might as well just go drink bleach and put a bullet in your head or something, because you're a fucking failure in life and there's no saving you. You need to start working as a teenager and start putting half your income into savings or investments or stock market or something as a teenager. That was like Shaquille O'Neal, I think it was, once did a little interview saying the difference between rich and wealthy. The rich take half their income and put it into savings or investments, and then spend the other half. The wealthy put 75% or more into savings or investments and only spend less than 25%. And the wealthy's children die with the same amount of money that their parents had when they died, and then the grandchildren die with the same amount, and then the great-grandchildren, great-great-grandchildren, so on and so on, all have the same amount of money without having to work anymore. That's the definition of wealth. When you have enough money in investments to where the next 5 or 6 generations never have to work a day in their life, that's wealthy. If you're walking around with like $1,000 purse, that's called stupid. That's not called being rich, that's called being stupid. But Joe Smith here keeps trying to say people like, well, you ain't got enough stuff to pay me. Well, I only got 19 cars and trucks, but I ain't paying you with my 19 cars and trucks. I ain't paying you with my $500,000 in tools. I ain't paying you with my stuff. I'm not paying you at all. The customers are paying you. And then you're letting me take a commission off the top of what the customers pay you. But they too fucking stupid to understand. It's like you get a donkey to give him a little swift kick to the head. Knock some sense in these brainless fools. If you ain't started a Roth IRA by the time you're 18, well, you're behind. You're freaking behind. You need to get a Roth IRA. You need to invest as much money as possible into like NYSE, SPDR, Spider Fund, as they call it, on New York Stock Exchange. You need to invest some of your other money into QQQ on NASDAQ. Another stock fund type deal, a combination of multiple stocks, because those are the two hottest performers on the market. You buy some gold. Don't gotta be fancy. Don't need to get coins. You see gold coins are a little bit harder to cash in, or cost a little bit more cash in. They take a little bigger cut, unless you can find someone that, like a collector or someone that's willing to pay a premium for them, maybe. Otherwise, just like standard gold bars. Diversify your portfolio. Some gold, some QQQ, some SPDR, Spider, Fund. Some in the a basic bank savings account, even though it might only be 0.5% or something nowadays. Like maybe 10 or 20 grand or 50 grand or something. Just like a emergency fund type thing that you can cash out and get easy. Put a bunch into a Roth IRA, mutual fund. And, just talk to a financial planner. Joe Smith's not a financial planner. Don't take his advice solely. Just some basic tips here. Maybe set some aside to do a little day trading play in the stock market if you want. You don't have to. Or else just find some other mutual funds to invest in, but don't dump it all in one place. Spread it out. That's just kind of the one advice Joe Smith here can give you. Spread it out instead of dump it in one place. But, people that are 16, 18, or 15, 14, these kids that are 10 or 12 should start doing little part-time jobs. By the time they're 14 or 16, they should have a regular part-time job. They don't need to graduate college with a ton of debt. They could already have a bunch of money saved up before they go to college. They could have their first vehicle paid off with cash or that, just by working and saving up the money. And then the extra money after they pay off their first vehicle and their insurance on their vehicle and gas and whatnot, they could put into a college fund. What is a 503 or 501 something or other? Joe Smith here forgets. Don't take Joe Smith's advice here. I had a family member a while back said something about a college savings fund for your kid or something. Thought they said a 503 or 501, but not for sure, not for certain here. Do your own research. You can probably figure out what Joe Smith's trying to talk about here, because Joe Smith surely probably forgets and is not correct, not right on this. And that's another thing, parents. Instead of pissing all your extra money away on weed and booze and smokes, put it into one of those 501 or 503 or whatever it's called, college savings accounts for your kid when they're first freaking born. Don't wait till they're going to college to think about how you're going to pay for college. Start saving when they're first fucking born. Start saving before they're born. You can't get one of these funds because your kid's not born yet and they have to be born to get one of these funds, and just put in a basic savings account until you decide to have a kid. That's the thing. Parents are being irresponsible with money. They're not teaching their kids how to be responsible with money. Kids are going to college broke-ass jokes and barely graduating, even broker-ass jokes. And there's no fucking money left. They're so far up the shithole in debt that they have no plan on ever getting out. It'll take them their entire career to get out of debt. And then by the time they retire, they have nothing to say because they spent their entire life, their entire career, just trying to pay off their college. So, parents, you need to start saving. Drop the fucking smokes, drop the booze, drop the mamas, drop the wine bottles. Daddies, drop the beer. Drop the smokes, drop the dip. Drop the weed. And start putting all that money to a savings account or a college fund or something for your kid. And then kids, once you become teenagers, start doing odd jobs and start saving. You know? Go and spend like 25% or 50% maybe as a teenager of what you make to have a little fun. Go ahead and have a, Joe Smith's not saying put all the money aside for the future. Go and spend half what you make. And then put the other half for the future, for like a future car, future college, or future home or something. But go ahead as a teenager and spend half of it for having fun, dates and whatnot. But don't spend it all on fun and dates. And you don't want to spend it all on like savings either, because then you grew up rich and regret not having any fun when you were a kid. So, gotta just kind of split it up a little bit. Half and half type thing. And then just talk to a financial planner and figure out how to invest your money as you make it, and put some in the Roth IRA and maybe in a traditional IRA, and learn the differences between the two. Traditional IRA, you put the money in pre-tax, so that way when you take it out of your traditional IRA, you pay taxes on it, but then money you put into a Roth IRA has been taxed, so that way when you take it out in the future, even though the tax rate then may be higher, you don't pay taxes in the future. And there's some other differences. Joe Smith's not a financial planner again, or financial advisor, so just give you some basic tips here. Talk to a financial advisor, financial planner, tax advisor. Don't trust Joe Smith's advice here. It's for entertainment purposes only. And then, kind of invest in a little bit of gold, a little bit of silver, maybe a little bit of crypto if you want to. Seems a little unstable right now. A couple of years ago it seemed like a sure thing. But Elon Musk keeps running his mouth, and all the crypto keeps going up and down every time Elon Musk opens his freaking mouth. But basically, you're not supposed to retire on $709 a month. You're not supposed to live off $709 a month. You're supposed to have a life savings built up. Like Joe Smith's mom's mom, Joe Smith's grandma, back in Iowa, never worked a job anywhere. Had lupus all her life. Had COVID last year at 98 years old. Was out of the hospital in like 5 days. She was living in an apartment on her own prior to COVID. She's like back to living in an apartment on her own post-COVID now. She's had lupus all her life. She had a farm until she retired. Raising cows and pigs and milking cows and growing a garden and taking care of other animals. She probably doesn't even get Social Security. Don't know, because she quit talking to Joe Smith here as mom when Joe Smith was about 3rd grade when her and Grandpa divorced. But at the same time, Joe Smith still sees her as an inspiration because almost 100 years old, sold the farm for a couple $1,000,000 to pay for a retirement. Don't need no disability, don't need no Social Security, don't need no welfare, don't need no food stamps. Never has needed any of that stuff all her life. Never needed the fucking government to fucking help her. She grew her own food. She raised her own animals. With my grandpa and my mom and her sisters and brother. They just don't make things like they used to, you know. They just don't make people like they used to. People used to be badass motherfuckers, and nowadays they're just fucking pussies. This Joe Smith sign out.